All right, welcome to the Howl and Power podcast. How's the dog so he can't talk? So I am Psychotor filling in for Howl, and today I have with me Cheezilla.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, that's Cheezilla.
Hi.
Today it's kind of like a test stream. Not stream. Fuck, falling into old habits. Today it's kind of a test podcast. We're kind of we're going to talk about a few things, but we're not going to really put anything on ourselves to. I don't know, quality control? I don't know. It's kind of a test. Whatever.
Fly by the seat of the pants kind of thing. There's no real structure.
Can't fly by the seat of your pants if you're not wearing them.
Yeah.
Hey. Alright, today we're going to be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about the Battlefront 2 anti-box law, which is fucking hilarious. And, you know, fucking EA. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about Division. Shit, I mean, I'm going to be talking about Division, but we might as well talk about Division doing a free update, because who gives a shit? Anyway, fucking EA and fucking Ubisoft. Anyway, all right, cool. So, first I'll introduce, my boy here, Cheezilla, a fellow Australian streamer, and he does some funny shit. He's quite hilarious.
Sometimes.
Maybe sometimes.
Okay. Occasionally, I'm humorous.
Sometimes, yeah. Occasionally, you develop the funnies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose
This isn't going to be one of those times.
What?
This isn't going to be one of those times. I'll attempt it, but it's not going to happen.
All right. Well, I mean, the fact that you're considering it is enough for me.
I'm willing, in theory. I can never guarantee it.
Spirit's willing.
Yeah.
Spirits.
Your mileage may vary.
All right. Well, what do you want to talk about first, the Division or the loot boxes? Because either way, it's going to be funny.
Dealer's choice, mate.
Oh man, I haven't dealt in a few years. Anyway, all right. Fuck it. Let's talk about the Division.
All right, cool.
If you guys don't know what the Division is, well, you've been living on a fucking rock. The Division got like this massive hype, like way hyped, way more hype than it should have received for its initial release. The Division's kind of like an open, kind of like it's more of an instance-based kind of city post-apocalyptic thing. It was actually pretty good when it was on initial release. Besides like first 6 months being incredibly poorly optimized, then the kind of PvP Dark Zone became kind of a bit of a meme itself.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft, as what did you call it before? Ubisoft.
Casanova fingers.
Yeah,
fuck everything they touch.
Yeah, exactly. They fuck everything they touch, which I couldn't agree with more, because they really do. They had this opportunity, a golden opportunity to create a truly immersive multiplayer game that could be very popular these days, but instead they fucked it up. So it's pretty much the long and short of it. So we're going to be talking about the Division and how they're doing this big update to try and get people back into playing this pretty much dead game. So yeah, so from what I could see, they did a new area, new activities, resistance and skirmish modes. Honestly, like reading through what they've decided to do, it doesn't sound like it's anything that's going to ever get me re-involved in the game, to be really honest. I mean, I kind of do want to play it, but I don't really want to. I don't know. I think if I get absorbed in it, I'll get disappointed again.
I've wanted to get back into it for a while. I actually had a go almost a year ago, around about Christmas time, I think it was. But I just couldn't. I had no one to play with, and that at that point in my gaming career, for lack of a better expression, I didn't have many people to play with. These days I've got a lot of choice with friends that I can hang out with online with games and whatnot. But back then, and I was just wandering around the city just on my own. It was just like, just NPCs. It was you really need friends with that, I think. And I don't know what happened globally with the game that made it launch poorly. I could have used the words better, but they it just wasn't optimized like for friends. Like I think you could have 4 friends in a server or something like that, and I never got to the dark zone. I never built up that much XP or my level or rank, and it was just really sad that because it was really, I thought the game, the mechanics, the infrastructure of what was going on, the systems and whatnot, I really liked it, but I don't know why it just failed. I haven't really researched into why it did this and why it did that, but I think a lot of people were turned off because there was a lot. It was basically hacker bait.
It was.
The dark zone.
It was bad, man. I
Mm.
mean, I only went to the dark zone a couple of times. Like I got to a point where like I had decent weapons and I was pretty good like play wise. I went, oh well, you know, I could probably get in the dark zone, and I had a few good times, and then it was just hackers, and I mean the issue is that in that scenario where there's hackers and where there's like this big issue that like is like game killing worthy. It's kind of one of those moments where it's really it's either the devs show that they can handle their shit or show that they're just there for the money. And Ubisoft, much like with For Honor, totally proved that they're there for the money and they don't give a flying fuck about creating a sustainable game.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. I mean, it's like I remember getting so into it and just thinking like, fuck, this is my new game. This is my new like play a lot game, and it ended up just being like an opportunity to create something cool and just killing it. And they did it with For Honor, and they've done it with plenty of other games. Just like For Honor was
for that.
Yeah. And I
basically
it.
mechanically it was great. Like the gameplay, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a disconnect between developers and publishers, but the developer of those two games, the way the game's crafted, the characters, the way things move around, you know, the actual gameplay, which is integral, like central to gaming, you know, because it's called gaming. So the gameplay, and those two games were really, really good, and the development system, like I think driven by the publisher, is just not supported enough. Like the people that actually make the game and think about these things, you can tell there's a lot of love and thought put into it, but then the backup support to be able to like sustain it and maintain it just isn't put in.
No, yeah, I totally agree. I think they decide they think they can probably walk away. I mean, look, I mean, you're giving a fairly benefit of the doubt for Ubisoft, which I think it's nice. That's nice of you. It's nice. They're fully undeserving of it. And
What I'm saying, the people that actually make the game, like the people in the cubicles or the desks or whatever that construct things like how people run around, you know, the shooting mechanics, you know, the actual mechanics of the game development.
Well, I mean, it's poor management. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's departments for marketing and web infrastructure and you know, modeling and textures and mechanics and all that shit. But the thing is like, ultimately, it's the poor running of the company where they don't go like, well, shit, The Division, a game we just launched, a game that's really big, a game that's super popular right now, it's got a hacking problem. And instead of, hey, all of our you know, our technicians that are working on like fixing these minor issues, drop your shit. We need to work out how to stop this hacking and like kind of prevent it on a future tense. And they never did that. They never did that. And then it's like I left the game 4 months later. Oh, The Division's better now. I don't give a shit. Like it's the same thing with anything else. Is that if I am disappointed by Division, I'm going to go play something else. And the other thing I played isn't fucked. So I enjoy that. So why would I come back to The Division type thing? And I do think like there's a lot of who was it? Somebody brought it up to me. They said, "Do you ever think that like people that work at EA and Ubisoft and other companies that are known widely for being just shit companies that just basically write or patent a game that has huge potential and then just fucking it over for money or profit?" I mean, somebody asked, "Do you think like there's technicians and designers that sit there and then see what happens to the game after they've worked for a full year or year and a half on these parts of the game do you think they sit there and just go, what the fuck happened? Like has all of the work that I've put into this game, where I've gone, man, I love these textures. I think I've done really well with the character creation. I think I've done really well with, this and that and the other thing. And then they see a game like come out, like The Division, where it just falls apart in a matter of weeks once a problem arises. Do you think this technician? Do you think they give a shit, or do you think, they just go, oh, okay, move on to the next game?
I think the technician would be sad about that their work would be not taken care of.
Yeah.
Like as a worker myself, like in the field I work in, won't go into that, but I like to feel appreciated. I like it whether I get paid or not. We all like to get paid, but I think it's a basic fundamental human thing to know that your work has worth.
Yeah.
And when your efforts are wasted, whether you get paid or not, some people have a job like, I don't give a shit as long as I get paid. I'll do like what I need to. But when you put in like an art, like, because game making is an art, when the management shits over your art, it's like a rich emperor or something who gathers a whole bunch of artists into his place just to have art around. He doesn't really give a shit. He just wants art, and pays like court jesters to juggle, pays dancers to dance, and all this. And they're just dancing for basic entertainment, but the little people will really appreciate those things. And the artist, like these technicians that do the textures, the animations, I don't know. I haven't really interviewed them, but I would suspect that they would be sad that the effort they put in, because a lot of these things you can tell. Well, I look at it and it looks like they really care about what they're doing, but the people that they're working for don't really give a shit, because these artists are collected and put into this project to make this thing happen, to draw gamers in to play the game. But as long as they're in, they've made the money, they're one and done, and these artists are used to make that happen. But then the upkeep isn't put there.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think you collect all these creative types, all these people that want to work in the game industry, that want to create something and want to maybe make the next big thing that people love. And I think money and a marketing CEO or whatever will step in and go, well, we could put more man hours towards fixing the problem, or we could put out some more DLC so dedicated players or microtransactions, dedicated players will pay for that, and then when the game dies off, we can just kind of pull back on the maintenance. And I totally agree. I think it's people develop these art forms for characters. They develop those art forms for textures and coloring and map design. And I think, you'd have to be disappointed like anything else, because it's been used for profit, because it is your job. It's something that you want to get paid to, something you love that you get paid to do, but it gets squandered by just profiteering. And I think it's it's a very disappointing kind of concept that there's these people that put in 110% and they put in 18 months of their life, and then it gets completely destroyed by hackers initially, and then by poor management thinking bottom line. And I know it's a business, but there's kind of statute of limitations on how much you can just fuck over the game base. You can fuck over the developers. You can fuck over these people that spend day in day out trying to get it done type situation. But I mean, I don't know. I want to go back to Division to see if anything's changed. To go back and see if I can, if now it's playable. Now I know I can play it, but it might be too late.
I'm down to have a look. I was talking to my friend, Doc Holliday. Yeah, good dude. We're actually talking about having a game sometime soon, because he noticed it was 70% off. And I actually had a code on Steam for Division, and I just gave it to him. I've been sitting on it for a year because I've been looking for people to play it with me.
Shit.
But, yeah, so about a year ago, the code was from Steam was about $10 or something like that, and I bought like 3. I gave one to one mate, and anyway, but I'm
Nice.
down to have a look at it, so we can part 2 of this. We can have a play if you want to some point.
Yeah, man,
But
I'm down for that.
But what was I saying? Oh, I had a point there, but I lost it. Oopsie.
All good. I'm down
Save
to
me, coach.
I'm very much down to reassess the game.
Yeah.
But let's go through the free shit that they've put out in probably in an attempt to lure in old players or what have you. Let's go through. Additionally, the Division 3 expansions, Underground Survival and Last Stand, playable free now through December 10th. If you haven't played Division,
Last Stand.
Right. The full game is available to play for free this weekend during the 7. So the DLCs, all the DLCs gone free from the 10th this month. So wow, they must really be trying to pull people on. The current free trial for the Division, which lets you play for 6 hours, is going hiatus until the free weekend ends.
6 hours?
Yeah, it's fuck all. That's fuck
What?
all.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, okay. So wait, even GameSpot's put a little point at the bottom of this. They said the Division launched in March 2016, starting in strong, but then seeing its player base fall off as updates and new content slowed. Things picked back up again, and the number of daily active users rose by 150%. The game has more than 9.5 million users, though the figure is only accurate as of May 2016. The figure is no doubt higher now, and it will grow. Still after the coming free weekend.
I don't know, man. I don't rarely see people streaming it.
I get exactly.
I don't know if that's a metric, but I don't know if that's an accurate metric, but
it's a pretty accurate metric though, because people like games that are popular, like League of Legends is free, but people still want to watch somebody play it, and I mean, where am I going with this? I was going in browse, yeah.
Twitch streaming, then active playing, so I don't know.
Yeah, so Twitch is a good defining aspect of like game popularity, I think. I think you can really see what's popular and what's not popular by just simply looking at what the top games are or anything like that. Like the Division. Yeah. Oh wait, is it called? Oh shit! I know that it's supposed to be Tom Clancy's. God, I hate the way that the way they set it up. So you have to like put Tom Clancy's The Division or something like that. I mean, okay, so
yeah.
It's got 3,000 current viewers. So, but but the top dude has 2,572 of those views.
Those numbers.
Yeah, well, I mean, his name's The Division game, so.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not shitting you. Like, dead set. He must only play Division.
That's dedication.
Right? I mean, it's a good game, but goddamn. So I mean, besides that, there is like a very minor level of like very low tier interest in the game still on Twitch. But I mean, that update just came. That update, the DLC's coming out for free in on the 10th. So I mean, how much stock could you actually put in that as being like a it's coming back type situation?
Yeah, it'd be like the medic from Battlefield. It's like last shot of adrenaline. Yeah,
exactly. Like how much longer can we keep this game alive type situation. I think putting out free DLC, like not putting out free DLC, but making paid DLC free now is this kind of last ditch effort to see if they can pull people in enough to continue the game. But I mean, Ubisoft just got bought by another shitty European company. I can't remember what they're called. Which already had a bad track record, so it's a bad track record buying a bad track record. So,
yeah.
So I don't know where you can
Ubisoft got bought.
Yeah. They got purchased a while back.
I didn't hear that.
Let me see.
Well, maybe I did.
Vivendi wants to buy Ubisoft. I did hear about that. Yeah.
I was looking up Vivendi a while back because I wanted to play Simpsons Hit and Run. But,
shit, that's some old school stuff.
I was trying to get a copy of that, and like they came up in the title. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, okay. So Vivendi's basically their share prices have slowly dropped, so they've decided to buy Ubisoft in an attempt to bring themselves back up. So basically, it's purely a money decision and which it should be. I mean, it's business, but like there's no like ulterior motives for their licensing or anything. So they've basically just bought an already successful company that shouldn't be successful in the first place. Fuck, that is goddamn. All right. Well, are we ready to move on to Battlefront 2? I have many things to say about this. I'm very excited.
Sure, let's.
All right, cool. So if you don't know,
you're steering this ship, Captain. So yep, I'll be your first mate.
All right, first mate. All right. Okay. Mate. So if you guys don't know what Star Wars Battlefront 2 is, well, shit. The original Battlefront was a glitchy mess, but goddamn, was it a great game.
I was playing it the other day.
Yeah, how was it? How was it going back?
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, because this
is the original Battlefront 2, by the way, for anyone listening.
Mm. Yeah. So,
like, a lot of fun, but
did it hold up?
I think it did.
Like fully?
But but I don't have nostalgia with it because I never played it back in the day. That's true, Dinks. I never played the original Battlefront 2 back in the day. I played it recently out of we'll say spite, and I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit dated in some ways, but it was actually a lot of fun, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. But there's obviously like graphical agedness, but I think it was still a very good game. There's some things that they need to update with it, like some of the way the menus and point markers work, like when you're doing a mission, like go here, do that, But I really enjoyed it. So you guys can check out the VOD, I guess.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, head over to Cheezel's Cheezilla.
Should still be there.
Yeah. Head over there and go check out his VOD for Battlefront if you're wondering his live reactions and I got coming back to that nostalgia. Very rarely do games hold up. I mean, Conker's Bad Fur Day I went back to, and that camera is a fucking mess. It is just so unplayable.
I've tried Conker's.
Yeah,
I know. I want to play it though. Still want to stream it.
Yeah, I'm very tempted to pull out the rare replay and do a 10-hour on it.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. Like, the camera's fucked. It's so bad, man. Like, and you think about it, like, childhood-wise, like, we really didn't give a shit. Like, we didn't think, man, this camera's a joke. We just went, yes, it's a great game. Haha, poop. Like, we didn't even care about, like, any of these aspects that we as adults now would otherwise be like, terrible camera, unplayable. Take it back.
I don't know what you were missing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did play a bunch of it. I played about an hour of it, and I was really enjoying it, but, like, I think I got up to a part, and the camera kept just getting me killed, and I was just like, I can't do this. Yeah, it, like, really just rustled my jimmies. Okay, so basically so Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you've never heard of it when you were a kid for the original and you didn't hear the news for a full year of the run up to it coming out, so basically the game on beta already started failing on beta based on microtransactions and the amount of game time you have to put in to unlock characters like Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Maul, all that shit. As special playable characters. So basically, and the other bigger part is that the loot crates could provide you with an edge to have an advantage on the map, which was even worse that they put game advantages in a crate like fucking idiots. So basically, long story short, people started taking back their pre-orders. People started like basically EA has the single most downvoted Reddit post in all of Reddit. Obviously Reddit post and Reddit, and I'm gonna fuck myself. So basically they basically, like, it got so downvoted because they basically patted everybody on the head and so no, don't worry about it, just pay for the crates. And yeah, so they made these like the decline in sales and the decline in pre-orders was astronomical, like historically massive. And like if you fuck up a Star Wars game, you've really shit the bed because Star Wars is a very simple, Like, people love Star Wars. Like, the only, like, and they did the one thing. Like, the game looks great, the gameplay is amazing apparently, and all they had to do was release a game with boxes with no conceivable ability to, without you having to spend 25 hours to pick up one character or to just buy an in-game currency, which there's 2 of, by the way, and to not put advantages in crates, but instead they did that, and people just started buying crates and having advantages on the battlefield. And amongst 40 people, I think it is, there's bound to be one person who has like some bullshit that they got from a crate. So anyway, this outrage is, I think the whole thing that happened with Reddit and all the problems that they created, I think brought a lot of shit to light. And like, in all honesty, EA's kind of fucked up loot boxes for everybody. Because basically the US lawmaker has called out Star Wars Battlefront 2 and lays out plans for an anti-loot box law. So basically, Chris Lee aims to prohibit the sale of games with gambling merchant mechanisms to anyone under the age of 21. Now, if anybody knows, a grown adult will most likely never spend money on crates, because we buy the game and we appreciate our money. And a child will spend fucking copious amounts of money on that shit. So they've basically fucked up loot boxes for everybody, which that includes Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Battlefront, and just about anybody else. And I'm sure you know, Cheezilla, and you've noticed that like microtransactions, in-game currency, and loot boxes are some of the biggest revenue streams for games right now.
Yep. Yes. There's a lot of press about it.
Yeah, and I mean, man, I can only imagine that like the CEO of Blizzard is just like calls up the CEO of EA and just goes, "Look, you fucking idiot, you really shit the bed for just about all of us now." Like, I mean, it's almost groundbreaking. Like, if this goes through. And like, I can't remember, there was another country, not the US, but another country. I think it was like Switzerland, or like outright.
No, Belgium.
That's right. They outright, like it took them like 2 days to decide whether or not it was gambling, and they got rid of it. So now it can't be purchased in Belgium. Then, yeah.
That's funny. Good.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's funny, man. Isn't there some sort of weird, like, vigilante justice that's going on all of a sudden? Do you think?
In that case,
as if, like...
Is there vigilante justice? Like, do you mean, like, a lawmaker's, like, jumping on a hype wagon of, like, anti-loot box thing? Is that what you're asking, or...?
Yeah, basically. Do you think he's jumping on to see political rise... and he's like just got lucky on it?
Maybe. I think look, with gambling, I don't know how you can't, even though you are getting something, I don't know exactly how the loot boxes work, because I haven't played this. I know of loot boxes, I know how they work, but in these specific examples, where the lawmaker is saying, hey, here's some public outcry, let's jump on that, and maybe he's saying, okay, let's jump on that, like maybe it'll bring him some political clout in the future, that he's gone out of his way to protect his political constituents and whatnot. Maybe there's a bit of that going on, but also maybe it's a good thing where he's trying to protect his constituents, and 2 birds with 1 stone, he's doing some political gain, which is what politics are about anyway. Unfortunately, that's that system that we need to kick in the ass as well.
Yeah, it's an inherent part of politics.
That's another podcast. The systems that we're used to, and they're gradually like a frog in a pot, if you know that metaphor, we're gradually just going towards a place of shit, with politically and with gaming. And now we're at the boiling point in gaming, back to the frog in the pot metaphor. For anyone that doesn't know, the frog in the pot metaphor is basically if you get a pot of boiling water, it's a pretty dark metaphor, by the way. If you get a pot of boiling water and you throw a frog straight in boiling pot, it'll jump straight out. I'm not putting up with that. But if you put a frog in a pot of cold water and just slowly bring it up to the boil, the frog won't notice, and before it's already boiled alive and it's ready to eat or whatever. Anyway, so over the time, like I've seen this microtransaction thing just like slowly creep in, slowly the tide rising. You don't notice the tide rising when you're standing in the water, and now we're at a point where no shit, we're drowning in this shit, and people saying no more. Politics have done the same way, and like this guy, whether he is trying to clamour for, hey everyone, I'm a really good politician and whatnot, but I think it's a good thing anyway because from the background I come from, not from so much gambling addiction, but I work in the rehab industry. I help people overcome their addictions to stuff. Gambling, it ruins families like any other addiction.
Yeah.
It can be good. It can be a good thing. Can be helpful. Can be fun. But for some people that are susceptible to that, and exposing like kids to, if you're going to smoke drugs or drink alcohol or cigarettes or whatever, good luck to you. But it's much better when you're an adult and you start doing that, than when you're a kid, because kickstarting that mentality, it does something psychological. Like if for anyone that knows about neural pathways, when you start making these neural pathways, like these things of reward and things like that, and payoff, and like you start developing addictive tendencies, especially at a young age. It can start with gambling, it can start with pot, marijuana, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever. You can really do some psychological damage, and you can make broken adults down the track.
Yeah,
That's just like
100%. 100%. I never even thought about that aspect of it, where it's you end up giving these kids this understanding that if they put money towards it and they keep on spinning, and then eventually they're gonna, and that's how you create pokey players spending $400 a week on the pokies, or
Yep.
like spending their money on that because they think, well, if I'm gonna get a little bit of money, if I get a little bit of money, then I'll get one big payout, I'll hit like the major, and then I'll get 26 grand. And then spending all their money, and I see that every week, man. I see gambling addiction for a job as well, and I see it all the time. Though I work on the other side of it, which is helping people do it. But it's really sad to see, and children are so easily convinced of this kind of stuff, and like you said, neural pathways, that they learn gambling early, or any addictive substance, including gambling or alcohol or drugs. And it's a big problem. But I mean, I'm just read ahead, and the way he wants to put it in is it's not gonna fucking work, because all he wants to do is make it so the game can't be sold to a child under 21. They haven't said that it has to be taken out of games. They've just said that a child can't buy it, which seems like a bullshit half-assed attempt at looking like that he cares.
Well, maybe, possibly. I don't know whether he cares or not, but it's a good starting point. It's a precedent to start with. I'm inclined to think you're right, but I can't really comment either way. But he may or may not, because honestly I haven't read the full article. I didn't take the time. But from the basic what's the word, context and whatnot,
Yeah.
it looks like he's at least, it's a starting point.
Yeah. 100%. It's a good
And
jumping
there's a lot
off point.
more that,
It's a good jumping off point.
yeah, it's a good place to start. And every politician, then I guess they want to start with a good basic platform of things, and like they have to have their first let's fight here. Like every soldier has his first battle. You start here, you start there, and the war, for whatever your crusade is, has its first battle somewhere. So I guess maybe for this guy, I'm not following Rep Chris Lee's career. I'm not really interested in his career, but it's really good that this thing had some attention start somewhere, and someone had to. There's probably some pressure from some direction coming at him to say, "Hey, dude, this thing and maybe there's a lot of Star Wars fans in Hawaii.
Yeah, true.
That maybe there's a lot of for whatever reason, I don't know demographics, but like maybe there's a lot of people like pressuring that particular part of the planet to say, "Hey, dude, can you have a look at this?" And he was like, "Okay, a lot of my people really care about this. So let's do something about it."
I mean, like
Maybe, you know,
yeah. I mean,
he's
that's the
giving me
thing.
a lot
Like
of benefit of the doubt.
you kind of want to hope. Like you kind of want to hope for that. Like that his intentions are pure. I mean, even if his intentions aren't pure, it's still a moment of, you know, that there's a good chance that this could go the right way. I mean, it, there needs to be a lot more attention paid to it.
Mhm.
Because I mean that's the thing is like the government wants to stay out of it. You know, they want to they want to give minor tax breaks and collect the profits that come from taxation of global releases of games, which it would be fucking huge. It'd be a huge amount of money.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, this is one of those moments where, like EA is fucked up enough where it's kind of like government. The government kind of has to get involved. Like it's kind of gotten to that point, and
Yeah.
I think it should have been done ages ago. Like when they introduced microtransactions, in-game currencies, loot boxes back in the day weren't a bad thing. When you couldn't buy any loot boxes, you could just play the game, and then you get a loot box and go, "Ooh, a loot box!" Open it up. Oh
Yeah.
no, it doesn't matter. It didn't cost me any money.
Mm.
And now that they've rid themselves of loot boxes, I kind of sit here and go, it's fucking gambling. It essentially is gambling. It's saying spend your
Yeah.
money.
And that
Yeah.
on that, that's where the government steps in. You got to consider like well, you don't have to, but like I would suggest that you should do. The government doesn't give a shit about the integrity of a gamer's experience. Like, if someone pays to win, if someone loses a game, if someone like buys a shit game, and then doesn't enjoy it, and they've gone over their 5 hours and their 2 weeks or whatever, they can't get a refund. They care about well, they care about what their constituents care about, which is literally what they're paid to do. And when their kids are being put in a bad place because of exposure to gambling, that's the government's concern. I mean, the government, there should be like a gaming commission. If there's a gambling commission, there's an alcohol department. There should be a gaming, because it's a very fundamental part of people's lives. If there's a government department for movie ratings and what can be advertised at certain times of day, like this movie, like you wouldn't advertise this movie like a Wolf of Wall Street. 4 o'clock in the afternoon on channel whatever where the kids are watching.
Yeah.
And probably advertise it on TV like 10 o'clock or something like that. If there's a government regulation for that, I'm guessing there'd be government regulation on gambling, but I can't expect any world government to give a shit about the integrity of gaming to the point where this guy's paying $20 for this loot box so he can beat you and me in a 40 PvP game. They would care about the health of their constituents. Where if mum says my kids are exposed to gambling, so do something about this, or I'll vote for someone else. You know, on a legal standpoint, you can't expect them to give a shit. So they're where they care about like actual gaming, like the priorities are different.
Yeah.
So that's where this guy will stand on this platform, because he can't really get involved in, well, EA are being scumbagged of publishers, so let's get involved in that. But that's where something like ESRB or Peggy or something like that, they can collaborate and say, well, they should have said, this is gambling and that's not good. But they actually dropped the ball a few months ago when they said, well, it's not gambling because you get something, when they were actually asked about it a month or so ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was either ESRB or Peggy. I was listening to I was watching a video from a couple of people, because one of the two of them came out and said, because they were asked about it because of Battlefront 2. I'm paraphrasing a bunch, so if I get the details wrong, correct me, anyone. they were asked about it, like, hey, is this gambling? And they came back and said, well, no, technically it's not, because even though it's a loot box and you pay and you don't get what you want, but you get something, which was the answer at the time.
Because
because gambling, you can put your money in and you could get nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
That's the premise.
If you get some piece of shit like today, I played a bunch of COD, and I'd open up a box and I would get like 3 things that were to me completely fucking valueless. So I am getting nothing. And that's what a kid's gonna do. He's gonna see it and go, "Oh, I don't want that. I didn't want that." And then he's gonna go, "Well, I need another box. Then I'll spend some money. I'll buy another box, and I'll probably get in the next one."
Yep.
And that is exactly
what gambling mentality comes in.
Anybody, if you don't understand gambling and you live in Australia or in America, go to a place that has poker machines and just stand there for a second near a couple of people and just for 15 minutes, and you will see the addictive tendencies. You will see them attempt and try over and over and over and over and over again until they just throw money all away. I met a guy last night. He's down $2,000. That is just the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. It is just down $2,000. Are you serious? And it blows me away because it's like EA believes that they're above the things that they've fucked up on, and you're not above it, EA. You're not above it. Like, you have done something really wrong, and you kind of believe that you can pull back and everything will be fine. But DLC I think is bullshit. I think season passes are bullshit. I think pre-ordering is bullshit. Pre-ordering because I get to play the 5th remake of Nuketown for a week before everybody else does, or or I get to pre-order the game and I get a new skin for my gun that only pre-orderers have, and it's all of these things that really shit me to tears because, like, there's these things that make sense, all right? And I think season passes are bullshit, but I get it. It's cheaper. And if you really love the game, like, I'd get a season pass for the next Bethesda game. I really would. The next Fallout or Elder Scrolls, I'll probably get a season pass because I loved all of them. But it's also based on track record. EA and Ubisoft have fucked up track records, so you shouldn't trust them. You shouldn't pre-order a game. You shouldn't buy a season pass. You shouldn't give them any fucking money until you see them show their hand, and they've shown their hand before the release of the game ever happened, and now the government's getting involved because they fucked up, and it should have happened so long ago. Like, just oh god, it's so late on when this should have happened. I worry that nothing will happen, but I also think that something has to happen. Something has to break at this point, right? There would have to be some level of public outcry for this. It's fucking gambling. It's gambling.
I think Battlefront 2, this recent game, is the catalyst. That's I think it's going to be the straw that got shoved up the camel's ass and just made him. And I think this is the tipping point. So I'm glad in a way.
Yeah, I'm
really, really pleased. I heard a report that this game has cost EA $3 billion.
And they've had the license for 5 years too.
Disney need to revoke it so bad.
They need to pull back, dude. Disney needs to pull back and go, we don't want anything to do with you. We want nothing, because they've got nothing but problems coming to them. They've got nothing but problems. Yep. Their shares would be worth, like, relative to the game industry itself, would be worth fuck all. Like, for a company its size, their shares would have dropped so fast because they need to revoke the license and give it to somebody who's going to do it right. Like, and there's the thing that frustrates me is there's not really that many good game devs anymore. Like, Sledgehammer's shown that they don't know what the fuck they're doing with the new COD. Ubisoft's shown that they don't know what the fuck they're doing with any of the games they ever make. And then you've got now EA and DICE that have shown that they have no moral fiber to the industry. They feel no responsibility to create a fair, fun, and affordable play style. And And the thing is that it's kids that don't get this shit, and then it's the adults like you and I who have to talk about it, who have to bring it up to people, who have to tell people about it, who have to like pull back on spending and stuff. Like Battlefront 2, I was like, fuck yes, I'm gonna get all kinds of over this. Like, holy shit, we've been waiting like 10 years for this. It's like Diablo was a shithouse. The third Diablo was a shithouse game. It was so bad. It was just a piece of crap relative to the first or second. And that's not nostalgia, because I played Diablo 2 in hype of Diablo 3 like a couple of weeks before, and I was like, yes, it's gonna be fucking amazing. Requires online. It requires online. Are you fucking serious? What an absolute pile of shit. I did get to get a really good name, which was Come At Me, which was CUM, Come At Me. I got that day one. That was pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the industry needs to wake the fuck up and start treating players like we're actually valued at something, because it's almost like we're the reason why your company is still alive. Like,
Yep.
Like if I work at a cafe and I serve really good coffee for ages, and then, you know, the good coffee that you expected from this place because you go here because the coffee's good, and oh, you know, he's really good looking and he has a great set of tits, and you know, like I like the way that the light shines off his booty, you know, and then you come in the next day. And you come in the next day and the hot pants are off, and the coffee's burnt, and the room is painted grey, like, but I stand there and I still expect you to pay fucking $7.50 for this coffee. You know, any business, my business would go down. There's no like bailouts. There's no, you know, like tax breaks. You know, like, but you know, developers feel like they're bigger than it because they're online.
You know who keeps coming back? The caffeine addicts who don't give a shit about the quality.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the fucking smoker's coffee. It's the Moccona of fucking game. No, it's not Moccona. What's the other one? It's the really bad
International Roast.
Oh yeah, I was actually gonna say like Blend 43. Is it?
No, Black and Gold.
Oh yes. Oh gross. Yeah. So I think International Roast really like fixes that one the best, actually.
Mocona's not bad.
Mocona's, yeah, no, I've actually got some Moccona when I don't feel like going out.
This program brought to you by Moccona.
Hey Moccona, sponsor us, episode 1. We're worth it.
The good stuff is Rise.
Oh yeah, you just pour some Rise into your Moccona coffee, and you've got a piece of shit. It tastes terrible. That would taste so fucking bad.
I wake up every day with a Rise enema. Keeps me going.
I lay that shit out on my desk, and then I snort it, and then because I did that, I go get cocaine, which makes me sound like I'm downplaying drug addiction, but I'm not. In any case, that went a weird way for both of us. We were very serious there for about 20 minutes, and then just kind of like pear-shaped.
You got to change it up sometimes a little bit.
Right? Yeah, so, I mean, the international roast of game devs, I mean, they're all like, we're at this point where there's no good coffee left. There's no good coffee shops. Nothing's affordable anymore, and you're expecting me to lick your asshole and go, yum, and give you $5 for it. Or should I say $60 to $80 to fucking $100. I paid $100 for COD. I wish I could shove something up my ass and then get that $100 back. I would do that trade because it was just a fucking waste of money. God, and I did it to myself because I'm an idiot. I knew it was going to be disappointing, but I keep having faith, and it's misplaced, especially, and Sledgehammer, I thought, because they did Bulletstorm, which was good, I thought, yeah, maybe COD will be good. No, Sledgehammer just showed that they're exactly like every other fucking game developer.
And they're going to burn their trust.
They are. I mean, you'd think that, but Ubisoft...
They're burning so much trust.
Ubisoft has done 6 years of shit releases, dude. What do you think's fucking happened to them? Nothing. They got bought out, and now games are still being released like shit. Like, god damn it. Now I have to go real deep. Like, this is supposed to be like... We're supposed to do like a short, fun one, and now I'm about to go balls deep. Like Assassin's Creed. The series Assassin's Creed has been completely... defiled, but apparently the new one is really, really good, is what I've heard. So
I've heard it's good,
but I mean, like, Assassin's Creed is so played out, bro. It is so played out. Like it really is. It just doesn't need. It needed to end fucking ages ago.
To be
And
honest, I got bored halfway through the first one.
that's fair. The first one is like the first one's like here's the origins, and then if you don't like the first one, then you should literally not play any of the other games. I'm on their site and it's all Assassin's Creed.
I got the London one with my first PS4. It just came with it. It was a deal. And I think I got something else as well. And I played it and I thought, and I just returned it like after I think I played 8 hours of it.
That's fair.
And I just sold it.
Well, okay, let me do this. I like doing
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay, sweet.
Fine.
All right, so
No again.
now these are Assassin's Creed. These are all the Assassin's Creed games. They're on multiple platforms, so I'm just going to read them all out. So from 2007 to 2017, they had Assassin's Creed Altair's Chronicles, Assassin's Creed Bloodlines, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberations, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed Identity, Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia, and Assassin's Creed Origins. There is...
Did you say Russia?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They have released more games than I have had sexual intercourse in 2 years. And that since 2007 to 2017, in 10 years, they've released twice as many games as the years that they've been active.
Wow.
Fuck, dude. And that's on Windows, Nintendo DS, PlayStation Portable, Vita, Android. It's fucking obscene, man. It's obscene, like the just shit throwing that they do, and like the thing is they still, after 19 games, have not fucking got it right. And even Origins to me looks like the same shit. People like the combat's changed a bit, but it still looks like the same trash fucking game I've always played. Like honestly, it does. It looks like the same fucking thing. And like you can go back and say like there was games like back in the day that were good but it doesn't make up for their current. And I can't think of anything that I actually want to. I would say like Siege was good, okay, but though Siege was good, it was also a shit show for the first year, so it doesn't really balance out.
What, Rainbow Six?
Yeah, Siege. And it was. I thought it's a good game, but the first year was fucking terrible, man. They decided to run off a peer-to-peer system in a game that's about tactical engagements and engaging fucking gunfights. Cunt. So, and you can't be running a peer-to-peer system, and it took them like almost a full fucking year to switch over to dedicated servers. Like, oh, thank you, gracious. Yeah, pull out your dick. Let me give you a sloppy blowjob over that. Like, they really acted like they were doing everybody a favor, but you guys were just doing the bare fucking minimum that should have happened in the first place. And then they released Watch Dogs 2, which was a steaming pile of shit. It was a dead set steaming pile of shit. It was it was so overrated on release. I never played it, just my mate who was so balls deep in the original, it came out and he was just like, it's just fucking terrible. Like, it's just bad. And then they're releasing, so... Okay, I'm going to finish my rant here, okay? Far Cry 5. Are you excited for Far Cry 5? You must be. It looks good.
I'm interested.
It's got co-op, which makes me want to play it with people.
I'm interested. I don't know if I'm excited for it, but I'm definitely interested. I'll probably get it. I've loved the Far Cry. I jumped on the Far Cry bandwagon at 3. I loved 3. I've got an interesting story about number 3. If you got time for it, but
Go for it.
All right. Okay. Back in the day, I spent a little backstory about me. I spent a bunch of years where I just wasn't involved in society all that much. I was having a lot of problems and whatnot, but that's for another time. But anyway, so I just got back into gaming. I had a PS3 and I played a bunch of Far Cry 3 and I loved it. I had this little mini game that I made where if I see a bunch of a couple of pirates on the side of the road, I would just rev my car and just run them over from down the street. And I would see these red shirts from like maybe 100 meters away or whatever,
Hmm.
and I'll start flooring my car. And this Saturday afternoon, I had just nothing better to do. I was just doing this all afternoon, like for 5 hours. This goes back to the neural pathways that we were talking about before.
Hmm.
For those of you that are wondering what the hell's neural pathways, take a minute, just to pause whatever and go look up what is the neural pathway. Come back and welcome back. So I was writing these neural pathways in my brain. Basically, it's when you do a repetition over and over again, you start doing that by habit, and it becomes the natural thing for you to do without even thinking about it. Like if I sing to you the first line of a song, "Mama, ooh," you know what that song is. You can probably think of all the lyrics to that song. Most of you, anyway. So neural pathways. So I was doing this for like 5 6 hours. Then I had to go out, and I was going to a party with some friends, and I went and got some drinks, just some Pepsi and whatnot, because I don't drink anymore. And I was going to this party, and I was going down this road, and it was like bushy, like in Far Cry 3. And I seen someone crossing. This is real life. I seen someone crossing the road, about 100 meters up, and my natural inclination, because I've practiced so much over the hours, I started to rev my engine. I was ready to run them over, and I had to take a step back. Think, wait a second, cheese. This is real life. This is going to have some real bad consequences. And so, yeah, I wasn't going to do it, but like my inclination was like, oh, let's do this, and I had to step back. So, no, wait, I'm not in the game.
It's so influential.
Yeah. And that's the level of immersion that I had that it went over to real life. But I loved the shit out of Far Cry 3. It was one of the most deeply immersed games I've ever had.
It's one of the few games that I sat down and played it non-stop.
Yes, I played it a lot. I liked Far Cry 4. I really enjoyed it. I didn't get as immersed, but it was a really good game. I never played the first two, but I'm very interested in Far Cry 5.
Yeah, because Far Cry 5 actually looks really good. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and, fucking choke on Ubisoft's balls for it, but it does look good. It'll definitely be me getting a clarification by a fair few people, because the last time I did get a clarification for For Honor after I waited 3 weeks, people said it was really good, and then I got into it and I went, this game's a piece of shit. But okay. God, Far Cry 3 was so good. That was a game that was truly released in its peak.
Yeah.
All right, so good. Let me put it down, because this is, I actually just went on the site for Far Cry 5, and I've actually just blown my dick off on the things that they're doing. So for the pre-order, just the pre-order, you get the Doomsday Preppers pack. You get a Doomsday Prepper outfit.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. A Doomsday van. A Doomsday 1911 handgun. This is no joke. This is really fucking stupid. You get to wear red stuff, and that's what you get for pre-ordering a $90 game. And you also get an additional chaos pack that gets 4 animal baits, 4 fast buff, and 4 furious buffs, and 4 malted cocktails for $90. What a fucking steal!
Fuck off! Fuck pre-orders. If you pre-order, you're a fucking idiot.
You want to hear something more? You want to get more angry? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go through the tiers that they have, okay, and then I'll tell you what the final. Okay, yes, I'll link it to you. That'll be even better. Because you're like me, man. You fucking light up because that shit just aggravates you beyond all reason. So if we're going through it,
it's just disrespectful.
It is. It treats us like fucking idiots. So they've got the standard edition, which is $90. And that just comes with the game, lucky us. And then they've got the deluxe edition, the gold edition, the father edition, and the Hope County Mount Collector's Collector's Case. Now, the deluxe edition is $109, well, $110. The gold edition is $140, and then the father edition is $170. And then we have the Hope County Mount MT Collector's Edition case, and this.
Sorry,
it's $2 $160. Fuck. That is
Jesus fuck.
insane amount of fucking money for a game you have no idea whether it's good or not. It is. It's fucking confusing as shit when they do this. Like, anybody who buys this is a fucking idiot. You were just dumb. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Usually I'm like, pre-order, yeah, I get it. Like, you kind of want to play the game. I think it's silly, but, you know, it's your thing. If you're spending nearly $300 on a fucking pack for a game you don't know about to buy a bunch of cheesy shit that nobody fucking cares about, you're a dipshit. Somebody send this to me. So I can trash it live. No, it's insane, man. Like, this is a fucking obscene amount of shit. I want to go deep on the things they have in it. So it has what comes in our Hope County Mount Collector's case. Your digital content, you get a season pass, lucky. You get a deluxe pack, which is a big game hunter pack, which has an ATV and a bow. Also includes outfits, weapons, and concealables. You get the Ace Pilot pack, which is a helicopter and a pistol. Now the big shit, the big physical stuff, the things that really fucking matter in a pre-order for a potentially piece of shit game. You get the original soundtrack on a CD, because we all use CDs. Remember, we all still.
What? No.
Yeah, they're giving you the soundtrack on a fucking CD, not even a digital download. It makes
wow.
You got the premium collector's box, which is probably just a piece of cardboard with the pictures on it. You get the gold edition of the game. Fuck's given about that. You get the Hope County Deer Skull trophy that you can mount on your wall. Why the fuck would I want that? It's okay. On another podcast, I'm going to talk about true collectibles, okay? But not today, because I'm going to go balls deep. And then they give you the fucking map of the game, which was cool when Skyrim came out, and they gave you a physical paper map of the world. That was cool. That was some shit.
Most physical games come with like a physical map.
Yeah,
like,
this is not special.
Like when I bought Red Dead, I've bought Red Dead a handful of times, and it's come with a map. Why would you like? So the physical map does not come with the standard edition. So I'm paying.
No.
So with the deluxe edition, sorry to cut you off there, bro.
Yeah,
so the standard edition from this website is $89.95. That says A. Is that Australian or?
Yeah, it's for Australian.
Yeah, fuck, it would be $90 for a standard game, but that's just $90 for a standard game, and I'm paying $90 for a standard game, and I do not get a physical map.
No, you have to buy the deluxe edition for $110 to get that. And even in the deluxe edition, you still don't get a season pass. It's only once you pay $140 for an unreleased game released by one of the worst game distributors in our time, then you get a season pass. But when you buy the Far Cry 5 Gold Edition instead of the Deluxe Edition, you get the season pass, but you don't get the physical soundtrack or map. So when you get the Gold Edition and you pay more money, you actually don't get the map. It makes...
I suspect...
Fucking seriously dumb shit.
That soundtrack, it doesn't say CD. It's just probably a picture of a CD just to give you something to look at. Or does it say the physical stuff?
Oh man, it's got a picture of a CD, honestly.
No,
yeah, it does soundtrack
content.
Physical content, yeah. So it is a CD. You don't get a map for the higher grade of shit, and then you don't get a season pass if you get the Father Edition. It makes no fucking sense.
$260, that's obscene.
270. Oh yeah, 60. I don't know. But it's 170 for the Father Edition, and you don't get a season pass with that. You get like all this stupid shit. You get a fucking figurine, but you don't get a season pass. You get a map and a steel book and a father figure and a fucking digital pack and the Far Cry game, and you don't get a season pass with the second highest, most expensive one. What the fuck are you doing, Ubisoft? This makes no sense. You're making people... Somebody goes, I want the figurine, but I want a season pass. So now they're going to buy a season pass and spend $210 on the game. Holy fuck! Makes no sense, dude. This makes no sense, cheese.
The difference between the deluxe edition and the gold edition. With the gold edition, you don't get the map of the soundtrack, but you pay.
Would you get the season pass?
What you do, you get the season pass, but they can't throw in a CD and a piece of paper.
Nah, bro, you only get
Can't throw
one.
that in.
Don't be greedy. Don't be
You're
greedy.
paying an extra $50, but they can't give you a CD and a piece of paper.
No, don't. You're being fucking greedy, bro.
Fuck, man.
It makes no sense. It's actually really. It's some of the poorest fucking attempt at it's some of the poorest attempt at some shit I've ever seen.
Wow.
I'm so disappointed by Ubisoft again and again and again. Like, they'll be lucky if they get the regular, but like it's one of those things where, what if I buy the game and then I find out it's good? Oh, I didn't get a season pass, so, and they don't sell them anymore now because I got the game later in the release when it's confirmed to be good. So now I can't get a season pass because they're not released anymore, which means that I have to pay $20 a piece for DLC.
No,
So now I get fucked anyway.
I might buy the game, but if I do, it'll be 6 months after release when it's gone down in price. Because fuck paying full price for it. I mean, nah. I mean, sometimes I like to buy a game right in the middle of the hype storm.
Yeah.
Just so I can stream it. So, you know, not that I'm all about views and whatnot, but like sometimes I'm like, hey, this is interesting. This is relevant right now. Hey, everyone, come have a look.
Yeah, but then there's stuff like Cuphead. Cuphead, $30, so worth the buy. Infinitely worth the purchase. Like Dark Souls, almost guaranteed to be a great series. Like Dark Souls 2, though the combat was shitty, it was a really fucking good game. So, I mean, you know, and FPSs are wide, so it's not like I love all Elder Scrolls and Fallout games, no matter what. So I'll always pre-order them because I want to play them day one. Dark Souls. I'm a huge fan of the Dark Souls series, and FromSoft is actually an incredibly fucking good company. One of the few really good companies. I know they're going to produce something good, so I'll go with the FromSoft. But in the scenario where we're talking about FPSs, Farcry, give or take, it's always going to be a mixed bag with them. Because 3 was amazing and 4 was a piece of shit.
Which one's this again? Sorry, I trailed off for a second. I was looking at something. 4 was a piece of shit. What?
Like, Far Cry 3 was good and Far Cry 4 was a piece of shit. So you don't know if 5 is going to be great. I mean, killing Christians, I mean, come on, that's what it's about. I mean, like, that's one thing, but it's, I don't know, man.
As a Christian, I'm offended.
You're a Christian?
Well, yeah, but I'm not offended. I'm kidding.
What are you actually? Because, like, 2 days
no,
after...
I'm not offended.
God. Like, 2 days after meeting you, you send me a picture of your nipple. So, you know, that's not very Christian of you.
I'm not a well-behaved Christian. No, legit. I believe in Jesus, but that's another thing. But I'm not like everyone else. I'm not. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in a bunch of shit.
I get you. I'm 100% on with you. I do get that. I know where you're coming from.
But you can say all you want. I'm yeah. But yeah, killing Christians, fuck those cunts.
Yeah, I totally agree. 910,000%. I suppose we should finish this off. I'm gonna go shit post that picture of this Far Cry game tier system that makes no fucking sense.
Man, that's bullshit, man. That's fucking
so fucking stupid. Like, have to buy the gold edition to get the season pass, but when I don't get the season, but I don't get a map and a soundtrack. But if I go with the deluxe edition, I get a map and a soundtrack, but no season pass. But then if I buy the Father edition, I get a figurine, a steelbook, a map, and a soundtrack, the game, and a digital deluxe pack, and
no season pass.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's so fuck. Anyway, all right, let's wrap this up. Awesome. So this is kind of
my defense for the nipple thing. If you walk into any Catholic church, there's a big Jesus up in the front showing you his nipples.
Oh, true. Oh man.
There you go.
Oh my God, you're Jesus.
And he's basically in a G-string.
Loincloth, bro. It's a loincloth.
Potato.
Yeah, whatever. Let's not split hairs on this one. All right. So thank you for joining us today. This is the Howl and Pals podcast. We talk about pretty much anything. Probably gonna be games though. We're all fucking nerds here. Thank you for joining me today, Cheezilla.
I enjoyed it, dude. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, for sure. It was hella dank fun, and now I'm gonna try and get my computer to process all this without throwing up. It's great.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Catch Cheezilla. I'll have his name sitting in the little down the bottom of the video here. Well, with the podcast, go check out his Twitch channel. Go follow him on Twitter. And if you want more sexy Australian accents,
Yeah.
don't forget to check out my Twitch as well. It's Coach Sai instead of Psychator. Whatever, I'll have the link down the bottom. Fuck it, we've been going for about an hour and 10 minutes. This is too long for me to function as a human being.
So,
All right, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
later, guys. Later, mate.
Bye.